Hello everyone and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit. We're going through the footage, figured out that Knight was attacked by a bear and not a dog. Which is interesting. Not really sure what to do with that yet. I'm also now, I am completely lost as to who committed this crime. I really... like, a lot of the evidence was pointing at Canis, but I also in my head I'm thinking it just seems so early to get rid of him. Like, I feel like I want him to be like the final villain, although it's probably going to be the judge and the other and Eustace. All right, so no guards are reported being attacked by an animal as far as we know,
but we did hear about a guard's spare uniform being stolen.
That's true.
Could the person in the security footage perhaps be someone disguised as a guard?
Could that also have been Knight, though?
Someone attempting to escape without being noticed.
A guard disguise? I guess it might work. Wait, weren't we just talking about someone?
We were indeed. Someone who seems to have successfully made his escape. We had assumed that it was Knight in the security footage.
Well, it was his cell. That's hardly a crazy theory.
Perhaps, but now we know about the hole under the bed. It is no longer the only possibility. Whoever had access to the tunnel could very well be the one caught on camera.
And who was that, Mr. Ezrath? Who would you care to tell the court who you believe this person to be?
The person in the security footage is...
yeah.
I believe I know who our guard in disguise is. It's none other than Rocco Carcerado, the prisoner who recently escaped from this facility.
Yeah.
I'm confident it's him because he was assigned a polar bear cub as his companion.
But the bear in that video is all black.
Indeed, and we have evidence that explains why. The evidence that explains the polar bear's dark fur is...
what? Map of the facility, including the detention center, map within the prison proper. You hit a chisel in here to prevent it from being found. Sullied, being worn by SAW, administering mud pack treatment. Open if an animal is detected. Raise the alarm if an inmate's bracelet. Prisoners are not moved freely. Colorful tart found by the victim's body. Some of these were being stored in Workshop A. And the victim was tied up? I mean, we haven't really looked into that either. Roll call, that doesn't help. Didn't like me very much. Cannot be detected. Chest set. Alright, I'm between presenting the glove because of the mud pack or the tunnel because it's, you know, dirty. It's a tunnel. Feel like there's a little bit more to work with here.
Recall, if you will, Mr. Frank Sod's testimony.
It's a rubber glove I dropped. Would you care to explain why it's so dirty? Oh, of course. That's mud from one of the pet treatments I've been practicing. I was giving one of the animals a mud... ooh, right when it happened. I see. Around what time would this have been? Let's see. The show had already started, so around 9 a.m. The thing is, the more mud I applied, the more in the zone I got, and the darker the animal's fur became. There's no trance quite like the trance one enters when one slathers an animal with thick black mud.
While the circus performance was underway, he was giving one of the animals a mud pack treatment.
And that animal could have been...
indeed, our polar bear.
Mr. Edgeworth, your latest assertion simply introduces yet another contradiction. Footage from the security camera. Wait, what?
I fully understand, Your Honor. Your doubts are entirely justified. Mr. Sott mentioned applying the mud pack while the circus performance was underway. This does indeed introduce a new contradiction concerning the security footage.
It does?
Yes, let's put it this way. When would you expect the footage to have been recorded, Kay?
If it was taken right after he applied the mud pack treatment, it should have been around 9 a.m.
In which case something isn't right about the footage.
Really, and what's that?
What new contradiction does the security footage introduce relative to when it was recorded?
Oh. Saying 6 a.m.
Take that!
Mr. Sott said he administered the treatment at around 9 a.m. In which case the security footage should also show a time of around 9 a.m. However, the timestamp says 6:42 a.m. On the day of the murder, the prisoners all went out to the yard to watch the circus. All except 3, Mr. Canis, who remained in his cell at maximum security. Mr. Sott, who was administering a mud pack treatment in the workshop. Rocco Carceredo, who had been awaiting that precise moment to put his escape plan into action. I believe you entrusted the bear to Mr. Sott before entering the tunnel.
Okay.
The bear then slipped out of Mr. Sott's grasp to run after its human. Mr. Sott would have then left the workshop to pursue the bear, at which point he saw...
Yeah, there we go.
Mr. Canis' dog retrieving the murder weapon from Knight's body. It all fits perfectly except for the security footage, which should have been recorded from around 9 a.m. However, the timestamp is 3 hours off.
But why would the timestamp be wrong?
Detective, I'd like you to have the security camera examined right away, please.
So someone tampered with the time in order to confuse things? I'm back, sir. I just talked to the guards and... Seems like the time codes can slip on these cameras if they lose power.
What?
They're pretty old, sir. Guess the clock stops when the power's off.
Which means the power was off for approximately 3 hours at some point.
The timestamp is off due to a 3-hour gap in the footage. This was actually recorded around 9 a.m. That's not all, sir. Remember how Knight denied stealing the keys? No one believed him considering, well, you know, he seemed kind of like the only suspect. Turns out that wasn't all he said. He also said he was knocked out cold, just like the other guy.
Which may not necessarily have been a lie.
But darlings, there you all are. How goes the investigation? Is there anything I can do to help things along?
Actually, there might be something we can do for you, Warden Lagarde. The escapee, Mr. Carcerado, I believe he may still be on the premises. He is disguised as a guard. Here's the proof, should you need it. We're reasonably certain the person captured on this tape is our man. And if I'm correct, he might even be right here in this room with us now.
Hey, Mr. Carceredo would have been wearing a bracelet, right?
Yes, a bracelet that could easily be hidden under the sleeves of his stolen uniform. Furthermore, the doors out of the prison proper don't have those sensors that detect the bracelets installed. So if he avoided the doors with sensors, he could simply wait for an opportunity to finally make his escape.
Well, yes, I suppose he could. You just have to avoid the workshops, the cells, and... Oh my. He's one of you, isn't he? He's here right now. Oh. Look, it's Teddy. All right, who's he going to jump to? There we go. Hey, paws off. Get your mitts off me, you big palooka.
No, thank you, Teddy. Very kind of you to confirm our suspicions.
Ah. Dang it, kid. If it wasn't for you, I'd,
What a thing it is to be loved, huh, Mr. Carcerado? I'm almost envious.
The guards apprehend this man.
A moment, if you will. I have some questions for our would-be escapee. If we are to learn the truth, I will need to speak with him. With your permission, of course.
I can hardly say no now, can I? Well, come on then, hit me with your best shot. Ricardo Serrato's escape route led directly into Knight's cell, so it's highly possible he has something to offer.
Tell me what you were doing on the day Mr. Knight's body was discovered.
Nope, here we go. Around the time of the discovery. So it is you guys, huh? The ones who found my secret getaway tunnel? You know how long it took me to take that freaking thing? I had me a guard's uniform, a whole dog, and a plan in place, so we went for it on the day you found this guy. But then this little guy just had to come right after me. His fur was covered in mud, too. I had to go back to our cell. I would have gotten away with it if somebody had an off night and brought you bums down here.
You claim to have dug that tunnel just now. How exactly did you do it?
Well, used everything I could get my hands on, see? Hammers, spoons, you name it. Spent every dime I had on this cockamamie fixer. And what do I gotta show for it now, huh? Do not be disheartened, friend. Tomorrow's another day. There's an outside chance Mr. Carceretto and Knight met face to face just before Knight's death. I should see what other details I can extract from him.
Hold it!
We sure did.
The tunnel you—
Shut up. Who are you telling to hold it?
The tunnel you said you—
You know nothing. You don't know what I had to do. I had to come crawling to the fixer, monk. Had to grovel and kowtow day after day after day. Now you're gonna give me back those hours, huh? The days, the months. I can't get a word in edgewise. You never stuck your noses in my tunnel. Never!
Hold it!
So the tunnel was all your own work.
Every inch. You see anybody else in my cell when you was there?
That's quite an effort, even for an athlete.
Yeah, now that I think of it, that's an insane amount of digging for one guy. Yeah, well, you didn't even know the half of it, kid. But it ain't like I had a choice. Just nobody and don't get caught. Them's the rules a con's gotta live by. Huh, you know, the rules of being a great thief are pretty similar.
Okay, I'd rather you didn't start sympathizing with the suspect.
I was just joking, Mr. Edgeworth. You must take a joke to me, you punks owe me.
Hold it!
Okay.
The uniform, was that from the fixer too?
Sure was. Reading something on one of the guards. The guy swiped it from the pal's locker.
Were you wearing it when you were crawling through the tunnel?
Nope. But it got dirt on it. Had to hold on. Had to hold on to it till I got to the holding cell. But once I was out of there, all dressed up, opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake. Here we go, I thinks. Freedom beckons. And then the fur ball here jumps up at me.
Which would be the moment captured on camera. I see, I'd be grateful if you could add that to your testimony.
Opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake.
Hold it!
Opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake, you say.
Sure, anything seems easy after dragging yourself through a hole in the ground.
You're familiar with the layout of the detention center, even if you live in the prison.
Why wouldn't I be? I feel like I've never been there before. If he's familiar with the detention center, then he'd surely be aware that unlike the doors in the main prison, the holding cell doors are locked with actual keys, and I'm sure Mr. Carcerero would have needed that particular piece of evidence to make his escape. Oh, hold on. Once that tunnel all dressed up, opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Hold it!
I'll just keep pressing just to do everything.
When was it you realized you were being pursued?
Right when I gotten out of the tunnel. Right when I thought I was home free.
You didn't notice anything before that, when you were in the tunnel, perhaps?
Nah, he wasn't around. I made sure of it. The little guy would have been all over me like a rash if he had been. So close I could smell it, and then there he was, the little bum. Hey, don't you think you're being a little mean to your friend? Poor Teddy. Me nothing. He rumbled me last time, and now he's rumbled me again. Kid's all over me. What am I supposed to do? Coming after me yesterday was bad enough. Alright, that makes sense.
You didn't consider trying to escape with Teddy?
What if I could have, but all that mud would have given us away. Chances to break out of the slammer don't exactly grow on trees, pal. One comes along, you gotta do it right. Followed by the one who loves him most. It's almost tragic. There's an outside chance Mr. Crescerato and Knight met face to face just before his murder. I should listen carefully to each of his statements and look over the evidence we have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where I want. I'm always torn between, like, I know what I need to do and, like, wanting to see all the testimony. Also, sometimes it just opens up new things. Wait, no, this isn't the one. Should have been a piece of cake. Right. Because you had that.
You claim that leaving the holding cell would have been a piece of cake, as you put it.
Yeah, you got a problem with that? We can make it a problem if you catch my drift.
Even once you'd reached Mr. Knight's cell, you still had another door to contend with. How exactly did you plan on opening it?
Oh, yep, there we go.
Mr. Crescerato, I posit that leaving the cell would have been a piece of cake only because you had the key.
No, I got no stinking key. I didn't need one. It was a piece of cake because the door was open. I walked right out. Nope.
Yes, I suppose Knight's cell was vacant by that point. There would have been no reason to lock it. It was indeed unlocked when I went to examine it for myself, so perhaps, when you'd finally succeeded today, it truly was unlocked because it was after the murder. But you'd attempted to escape previously.
Yeah, the security footage shows when you tried and failed because Teddy caught you.
No, it was during the circus performance before the body was discovered. The holding cell was still locked at the time because no one knew that Knight had been killed yet. Therefore, you must have had the key to his cell on you. Without it, your escape would not have been possible.
Yeah. Are you saying? Could he really have?
I believe he could, yes. The theft of the keys was in fact perpetrated by none other than Mr. Crescerato. He is the one who attacked the guard. But not just the guard, Knight too, all to gain possession of the guard's keys.
It wasn't me, you lousy bum. I didn't even know this Knight guy.
After you stole the keys, you went back to your cell to avoid suspicion. And then you waited for the perfect moment to escape, a moment when the prison would be almost deserted. That's right, the moment of the show, just before the discovery of the body. Luckily for you, that particular attempt was thwarted by your furry friend.
Says who, huh? A proof genius? This ain't your win yet. Nuh-uh. Knight knocked the guard out for the count, and everybody knows it.
Don't play games with me. Knight was as much a victim as the guard in this case. As a matter of fact, I have proof that Knight had been attacked in his cell.
Alright, we have the blood. Nailed it.
We found traces of Knight's blood on the cleanly wiped floor of his cell. What could possibly explain such a thing other than him having been attacked? And it was you who attacked him. You ambushed both of them and stole the keys.
Got him. Why, oughta. Was with you, huh? The newspaper wiped that blood up good. Ain't no way you should have found it. Oop. Okay, but why did you think you had to wipe it up anyway? They checked Knight in the guard's hand. They would have seen those two never came to blows. That blood give up the game. Ain't no way they don't figure there was a third man in the ring. Plus, once they started sniffing around on that floor, they'd have found the tunnel in a heartbeat.
So you wiped up the blood to buy yourself a little more time so you could wait for a better opportunity. Sadly, the opportunity you sought wasn't good enough to get you clear of the prison, it seems. Now hand over the keys.
Right. And kiss her. Yeah. Hey, did we just solve this? Yeah, KO'd by a lousy stinking bum. Fine, you want the keys? Here, I hope you choke on them. They were found in Carcerato's possession.
Overruled.
But, wait a moment. Mr. Crescerato here had the keys.
Indeed, Your Honor. Your theory relies on Knight having used the keys he had allegedly stole to escape his cell. That was the only way he would have been able to enter Mr. Saint's cage and be moved to the workshop. Unfortunately for you, we now know that theory cannot possibly be true.
Yee. No! Guess this changes things up a bit, yeah? Now the only person who could have moved Knight's body is the one person who knew about that tunnel. No, you gotta be freaking. Mr. Crescerato, you're under arrest. Now come quietly, pal. Oh, wait, you got the wrong guy. I didn't do nothing. Alright, fine, I knocked those two chumps out. I stole the keys. But after that, I went right back to my cell and waited for my moment. Next time I went to Knight's cell, there was nobody around. And I mean nobody. Plus, his body was found in the workshop. Think I just magicked my way in there or something? Couldn't even have gotten out of my cell.
Indeed, you only had the key to Knight's cell. You couldn't have left your own cell back in the prison. But Mr. Canis' dog could. It was not you but Helmet who moved the body from your cell to the workshop.
I get it now. You're saying he wasn't the only con in this conspiracy.
Indeed, one can easily imagine that Mr. Carceretto and Mr. Canis might have worked together.
What would Canis get out of this?
Mr. Carceretto could have killed Knight and dragged him back to his cell.
And then Mr. Canis' dog took him from there to the workshop.
There are no restrictions on the animal's movements within the prison. Movement between the detention center and the prison proper, however, is tightly controlled. There is only one possible route, and only you could have taken advantage of it, Mr. Carceretto.
How can you be so sure, huh? Maybe there's more of them and you just don't know.
Something tells me that digging even a single tunnel was arduous enough.
You got that right. You tried scraping more than one hole in the dirt with a spoon. Lucky for me, I didn't have to dig the whole way. Somebody already did a bunch of the work for me.
What? You didn't dig that entire tunnel by yourself?
Oh, so is he kind of like set up? Nope. Found it when they put me in that cell. So who was in that cell originally? I mean, all the way from here to the wall in the yard. Well, in the yard already. You look down the well and check from there. It was the same tunnel, alright. I just made good on what somebody else already started.
Then what was the original tunnel for?
Who knows? You're the one with all the answers, pal. Maybe somebody else tried to break out. Oh, or maybe the animals dug it. Like, to get water from the well or something. Heard of more plausible scenarios than that in B-grade movies, Kay. Well's dry, kid. Ain't no water to be found down there. Though, come to think of it. Smell, yeah, always smell kinda nice down there.
Nice.
Gee, I don't know. Smells sort of like dessert, I guess.
The sweet scent. That sounds very familiar.
Maybe we come across a sweet scent before. Rope, Knight's... Oh, a sweet scent can be detected.
Take that!
Detective Gumshoe noticed a sweet smell when re-examining Knight's body. With the help of a police dog, we followed the scent of the body and traced its route back through the prison. That, Mr. Carceretto, was how we found your tunnel. Could that same sweet scent be what you noticed coming from the well?
Very clever, Mr. Edgeworth. Suggests that there's evidence of the body having been moved through the tunnel.
I do. Furthermore, Mr. Carceretto, you were the only person who could have done it. Nobody else had access.
Thanks, Mr. Carceretto. Truly. Finally the truth comes into view. Now, unburden yourself. It is time. Confess your role in this tragic incident. What, you ain't pinning this on me?
Glad to see we finally in agreement, Your Honor.
Oh, if only we were, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Carceretto may have been an accomplice, but not of Mr. Canis. No, he was working with Mr. Knight.
Hold it!
You gotta be kidding me.
What do you mean?
I don't believe that he moved Mr. Knight's body. Instead, I believe that he lent Mr. Knight the use of the keys he stole. You gotta be kidding me! Granted, it seems likely that he attacked Mr. Knight, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Mr. Knight was knocked unconscious as a result. What if he wasn't? What if he and Mr. Carceretto had reached a certain agreement? What kind of agreement exactly? Sam was plotting an escape for which he required a means of leaving his cell. And here was that precise means in the form of the keys Mr. Carceretto had just stolen from the guard. Mr. Carceretto himself would need to pass through Mr. Knight's cell in order to effect his own escape. Mr. Knight needed only to shout and alert the guards, and Mr. Carceretto's plans would be ruined. And so, the two struck a deal. Lady, the only striking I do is with my fists. My, so you deny it? So, we're agreeing that we still disagree. We'll continue this in the next episode. I thought we had him, but man, she is going down swinging. That's alright. We'll get to the bottom of this. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.